Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting wet today. Still on this 1,000-foot climb that leads us up to the ridge for today. Once we're up there, there's really no more elevation gain. It's just running the ridge. And it's a straight shot too. We'll see what views we can get today with the clouds. It was supposed to start raining like last night around 9 o'clock, but the rains didn't come in until sometime this morning, real early, probably around 4 o'clock or so. And it's supposed to rain all day, but whatever. The reports say, you know, sunny and warm tomorrow, which is Sunday. Yeah, today is Saturday. So if it keeps raining, it keeps raining. Now, why I want to do a 24 today, I'm still trying to figure that one out. No, why I want to do a 24 today is to get set up at the shelter right before Lehigh Gap, so that tomorrow morning, that's all I got to do is just get up, pack up, walk down a little bit, walk across the bridge, and climb up to that super fun site. So basically got on the trail today at 8 o'clock. You know, how long is it going to take me to walk 24 miles across this ridge? If their rocks are exposed and slippery, which they might be, you know, that will slow me down. If the rain would stop and the sun would come out, that would speed me up. So there's a lot of factors that, you know, I'm just going to have to roll with today. But I will try to go as far as I can today. I mean, if I roll into that second shelter at 3 o'clock, I'm just gonna eat my supper, pack up, and keep on going for a couple more miles. Get as close to 20 as I can. A hammock out in the trees. Because I'm setting up for the 16-mile, you know, climb and relatively flat run tomorrow. But you know, 24 and 16, no matter how you look at it, it's 40. So 220s are as a 40 as well. That's the trail to Hawk Mountain Sanctuary North Lookout in 2.5 miles. I don't think so. Had a couple through hikers show up yesterday at that shelter, northbound. You know, started later than I did, but they've caught up to me. Let's see, we had fax machine and Yogi, peanuts, splash, and then chocolate brain showed up after I was asleep. I said, dude, you must have been like a ninja, because he came in trying to get my rain skirt up and over this log. He came in and got on the bunk above me, and I never heard a sound. So, and I didn't know who it was because he was just in a sleeping bag. And we got up this morning, I saw who it was. I'm like, oh, it's Chocolate Brain. And fax machine was like, hey, Chocolate Rain, I haven't seen you in a while. Peanuts and Splash took off earlier in the morning than I did, because they were only going a couple miles to get picked up, resupplied. I have more than enough food to make it to Wind Gap, and I mean, it's just like a 1.5 2 mile walk into town. Resupply there. See if I can get some Wi-Fi. Maybe walk out that evening, that night. Maybe stay at the Travel Inn or Red Carpet, dry out, upload videos. We'll see. That's still 2 days from now, and I got that big climb out of Lehigh Gap tomorrow. So that's what's really is on my focus right now. Got a lot of different ideas tumbling around in my head, and that's always dangerous. Because I'm sitting out here thinking and making plans, but until I can actually get somewhere and do some research and, you know, see some hard logistics about what things will cost and what time frames I'm looking at, really will depend where this adventure goes. I've talked about one scenario with a couple different hikers on the trail, and I'm leaning towards that one. Kind of keeping it a secret for now because, like I said, it's still tumbling around in my head, and while it is feasible physically, the logistics of financing it and supplying it are going to be like, But I'll discuss that later with y'all. Ask what y'all think, and you know, bounce the idea off of y'all, and you know, use that as a condition for go, no go. These branches get lower when they're Leaves are full of water. Trees keep taking my trekking pole. Like, nope, my trekking pole. Can't have it. Alright, well. I'll crank out some miles and see about getting to this first shelter and signing the journal and checking time and some distance and see how much farther I can go in the daylight. Because I do believe this is on top of the ridge now. That's the view from Dan's pulpit, because that's what that little box says right there. Cold? Yes. Wet? Yes, because it's raining. And now we have wind as a factor. It's like someone heard I wanted to do a 24 today, and they're like, haha, do a 24 in this. As my trekking pole hits all the trees and makes even more water come down. Oh yeah, and there's rocks. We're having fun now, let me tell you. Okay, so I saw this place when I was crossing this road, 309. This is the Blue Mountain Restaurant and Barbecue Bed and Breakfast. It's cold and it's wet, and I'm just put on my wet rain gear. Oh man, it is cold. No, okay. It was a restaurant, bed and breakfast. So the restaurant part is really awesome. Got a root beer and a Caesar salad and a really good barbecue cheddar cheeseburger and French fries. And it's kind of stopped raining, but it's just really, oh my goodness. I'm about to just start running down this road to warm up. There's another hiker that just came up. Anyways, I got about 6 more miles to go until I can stop and dry off. I don't know how well that looks on the GoPro, but here in person with the clouds moving through there, it's just like the power lines lead into nothing, and then a cloud will clear up and I can actually see the tower over there on the other ridge. But I came up here and it's just like, those wires lead to nothing. That's so awesome. Still raining, but of course I've pretty much given up on that 24-mile day, and I'll make up those miles tomorrow. But I will get to Wind Gap on the 15th. When I was coming out of that restaurant, man, I was cold. I've warmed up now that I'm moving. You know, my jacket has warmed up with me. New Tripoli campsite. Okay, that's that way. We're going this way. That hiker that I saw coming up on the road, that was Magellan. basically walked up to him and he was about to ask me, "Is that a restaurant?" And I said, "That's a restaurant." You know, pointed behind me. So he's like, "Yeah, getting some food, woo!" So, good on him. He asked how far the next shelter was. I said it was, 5.96 miles from that road. That was 309. And he's like, "Okay, well, Magellan said I'll make it to that shelter." So I'll probably see him later tonight after his food. Yeah, it was cold. But sometimes it's cold and wet and windy. Yeah. Fax machine was saying this morning, there's 3 contributing factors to miserableness: wet, cold, and windy. Now, you can deal with one, and it's all right, and you can deal with 2, and it's still manageable. But man, when all 3 of those things hit you, it is plumb miserable and borderline, dangerous, because you got to worry about your body temperature. But we're gonna deal. We're gonna deal. See these rocks? This is what Pennsylvania has been like. It's either been this, old forest roads, or rock hops. But most of it has been those old forest roads. It's just easy moving, and then you get up on top of a ridge, and then there's these rocks, which you just kind of gotta, figure where you're putting your feet and take it a little bit slower, but they're manageable. I know that area that I'm gonna hike on tomorrow. Let's go with my trekking pole. Oh, trees. Yeah, these tree branches, when all the leaves get wet and they get soaked, they drop lower and end up hitting me in the face. No, but the place I'm going to hike tomorrow, there's like no soil on that ridge, so it is just all rocks. So we'll get there when we get there. Okay, so this section, probably safer to do it on a day that it's not raining and the wind's blowing, because it's really technical and there's a lot of places to fall and get hurt. So, yeah, really wishing for some better weather to do this in, but it is what it is. That's a branch right there on the trail. Good times. I'm not going to hit my head on this one because I saw it. But yeah, this is a pretty hairy part of the AT. I'm sure it looks great if I wasn't in a cloud, but yeah, the wind and the rain and my hands being numb are really raising the danger factor here. But I'm taking it slow, taking it careful, and I'm only going to the shelter right beyond here. So once I get through this rock craziness, I will get warm. And I really should have had the head strap on for this, but with the rain and my hood being up, it probably wouldn't have looked too great. And being that there's the trees right there, I'm going to be getting off this exposed ridge line and back into the trees, so that ought to get rid of the wind. Whew, those rocks. Okay, so those two little stretches, that knife's edge and that whatever bake oven bake knob, whatever you were, I almost want to remove you from my memory. Whew. Do not do that when it's raining. Seriously, that is a level of difficulty and danger that will just not make your day. So I made it to whatever this shelter is, a little bitty shelter. I'm the only one here so far. Maybe Magellan will get up and over those rocks too. I don't know. I slipped so many times. I do not know how I did not take just the biggest tumble off of those rocks and fall, 20, 25 feet onto more rocks. I don't know. I probably had some angels on my shoulders, and they're probably gone now. So, it is what it is. I made it here safely, but goodness, do not, please, for your safety, do not do that if it's raining. And ATC, how about a bad weather workaround, blue blaze, to stay around the bottom of that, not go up and on those rocks. How about that? Because that would have definitely been a better option for today. Bake oven knob shelter. That's what this place is called. There's the sign right there. Bake oven knob. It is 7:40. I am soaking wet. I'm going to change clothes. First, I'm going to find the water source, if there is water here. There probably is not, but whatever. Going to go look at the water source, gather water, and then get dry, and then eat.